Alrighty, we are live. I'm here with Kristy McFarland, and she is with Professional Business Products. Now, I talk about their products a lot, and you've actually seen me use their products a lot if you follow me on social media. So you are the number one advertising agency that I'm aware of for locksmiths and security professionals. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristy McFarland. Not to give up my age, but back in the 80s, I went to college and studied marketing. Out of college, I went to work for a company called Reynolds & Reynolds out of Dayton, Ohio, in their marketing department, but we really zeroed in on printing. So that's where my love came from, the printing industry. I stayed with them for about 10 years and then took some time off to raise my kids. In 1999, I started Professional Business Products. And we started out with just a handful of items, mostly paper products, the printing, invoices, work orders, key envelopes, things like that. And over the years, we've just added so many new products that customers have asked for or that we saw a need for. Everything from your advertising, materials like key tags, magnets, all sorts of labels. I mean, we'll get into that in the next hour, but metal plates for safes to put your name on there or cover up a hole that you might have to make. Just so many different items. And we're trying every day to look for new items to enter. And I hope you've seen me at Aloha or SAFTA. And if you haven't, well, here I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, we see you at most of the trade shows and conventions and whatnot. And I've found your products and really enjoyed them. And basically, from me using your products, I kind of reached out and I was like, hey, there might be some things that we could do that may help you in your business. Here's some things I'm looking for. And it was installing electronic access on the doors, and then the safe opening as well. Both of those things leave a mark on the door. And I was like, what if we had a metal sticker that could cover it up? Because the jelly ones, the dome ones, which we'll look at and cover here in just a little bit, those work great as well. But there's just something about having a piece of metal on a piece of metal that just makes people feel better. You know what I mean? And so we had talked about that. And I'm like, could you get adhesive pieces of aluminum or pieces of metal to go on there? And sure enough, you did it. And that's really one of my favorite products from you. It really, really is.
It's been a great seller for us. And just to put a plug in about those metal plates, they can come in any size. They're priced by square inch. We've done small ones 2x1 to big, large plates that actually fence and door companies have bought from us.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it could do everything from cover up a boo-boo. If like some of the electronic access, you have to drill a hole on one side of the door, but not on the other side. And if you accidentally drill all the way through, or your tech or somebody on your team does, hey, we've got a solution for that. And by the way, it also leaves your number on the door.
Yes. Which is so important.
And yeah, it is.
I always believe that you don't ever leave a site without leaving something behind with your name and number on it.
Right. And what happens to most business cards? I mean, as soon as you leave a business card, what happens to business cards that I get? You know what I mean? Sometimes it goes in my pocket. Sometimes it goes in the truck. Sometimes it gets lost. Sometimes it goes in the trash. You just never know. And I'm not trying to be rude or insult anybody. That's just the way that it is. So we've got a couple people here. Looks like we've got quite a few people in here. I want to talk about you. You have been gracious enough, and you're going to actually allow us to do a giveaway. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I would like to offer retail up to $500 on any decal that someone may need. We can even do the metal plates also, but those are a little bit pricier. You're going to get more for your money. if you go with a decal, but I do all the artwork free of charge. We take your logo, we design exactly what you want, and then we print it. And most of our decals are 48-hour turnaround. So whoever wins this, they'll probably have them next week in hands. Those are up on the screen are our dome decals, which are fabulous.
Right. Yeah. So talk to me about these a little bit. How are they made? Why do you call them dome decals? And what do you like about them specifically?
There's about 18 layers of polyurethane on top of those. So they're very thick. Industry calls them dome decals. I've heard other people call them jelly decals because they are a little bit pliable. Of course, they have awesome adhesive on the back. The circle ones, McElhaney, they're in Toledo, Ohio. They use those for safe dials. And the other ones, I think they actually use for doors and on safes. They come full color. So if you have a nice full color logo, it's no problem. There's no upcharge for it. They do come on sheets like you see. So you're not going to get them on a roll like your decals will arrive. But these are just awesome. They have a much higher perceived value than a flat decal. They're weatherproof.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, the best is the metal safe plates, like you already said.
And some of the people that's very, very generous of you. So what we are going to do is the person that does leave the most comments in the live chat while we are live here today is going to win that. And so we'll know that at the end. Right now, K1RKK is by far has the most comments going on over here already. We've got quite a few comments. And some of those comments are actually telling us and saying that, there's nothing worse than random sticker slappers out there. And I tend to agree. Yes. That's not what your company and your business is about. Is not, hey, let's just order these and order them from some cheap manufacturer where they come apart. They look like crap on the door after they're there for a while. And all they're doing, like they're in big cities, the scammers will literally just pay people to go out and just put stickers on doors.
What I've heard. Yes.
Yeah. And that is not what we're talking about here. No. We're only talking about you put your sticker on the door that you've worked on. And that's it. We're not talking about just going out and blanketing a town. And I think that starts to, it's vandalism at that point. If you don't have permission to be able to put something on somebody's door, and I will usually ask too, I'll usually say, hey, you don't have any direction. I like this term. You don't have any directional indicators on your door, meaning push pull.
Right.
Would you like me to put this push-pull sticker on here? And by the way, the fire department and ADA love these directional indicators because they will tell you which way the door opens and which way the door closes. So that's kind of my little secret code word for making sticker on your door, my advertising on your door, into, hey, this is actually something that can help people, and it's considered signage. I think it's considered signage, because they do make push-pull plates that go on the door as well. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do.
So those can be hard mounted on there, or, they may not have any advertising, but it really does. It's nice for somebody to just look at the door and then out, push and out. People will do that fairly commonly, and they don't even have to think about it. Now, again, you need to make sure you put the correct sticker on the correct side. Because if you don't, then
and we also have the two-way push pulls for glass doors.
Yeah.
So that's handy also.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll jump on your website and check that stuff here in just a little bit, and we'll kind of check out the website. We saw your jelly high tops and the dome stickers, which I'm a personal fan of. I love those things. Mm-hmm. They get on, they're nice and warm. They get them warm in the sun a little bit, and they just stick and they mold right on there, and they kind of go contour over things. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes with the metal ones, if there's any kind of burr on that hole, you got to make that hole flat, or you got to kind of countersink that hole to make sure that it's going to stick properly. But
and on the metal plates, we offer them in a standard two-way tape.
Yep.
And also a foam tape.
Yeah, the foam tape ones
And
are
the
really nice.
foam
And
is, of course, the best. We call it the Gorilla because if
yeah,
you're working with a pebble finish, it just like goes all into those crevices. But
textured.
give you a tip, if you order the standard, you can always take some crazy glue with you too and just put a couple of drops, and
Yeah.
that'll, if you're working with a lot of the pebble finish.
Yeah. So what that does is basically, so your standard aluminum stickers just have a piece of aluminum and then a little bit of
3M adhesive. Yep, two-way
yeah,
tape.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but the other ones have a little bit of foam in between there so that they can basically adhere to all of those different contours.
Right. It is the best, the foam adhesive.
Yeah, yeah, by far, by far. And the foam ones just stick out just a little bit more, but they
They do.
definitely stick
Absolutely. I
way
think they're
better.
about maybe a 16th inch, maybe an eighth thick.
Yeah,
Well, it does stick out a little bit. You're
it
correct.
does. It does, but it doesn't look bad or anything. It gives that little bit of contour, and it's nice to tell people, hey, if you have a wood finish or you have like a textured finish or anything like that, that's really all that it takes.
Yeah.
So, so tell us a little bit about you. How did you get started in this industry?
Like I said, working for Reynolds and Reynolds in the marketing department, they were famous for print invoices. Back in the day, one write systems. I don't know if you know what that is. So I would design those for them and then find out a way to market it, and just fell in love with it. That's my background. I learned a vast amount of knowledge of the printing industry. So when I wanted to get back into working after I raised my kids a little bit, it was just logical. And I teamed up with Aloha. And the first, I think it was 10 years of the business, I gave 5% of my profit back to Aloha from every Aloha member.
Yeah.
And in exchange for that, they would recommend me if somebody called and said, hey, is there anybody for invoices that you recommend? And I do have a line of invoices with the Aloha logo on them for Aloha members. And you put your AR number right underneath it, printed. And that's a great seller because the two-color logo on a standard invoice costs so much more than a single color. And since we print these like 100,000 at a time, the cost is very low for these Aloha members. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that. And then so you did triplicate invoices. I remember about, when I started in 2012, that in online invoicing wasn't that big of a thing yet.
Right. Like I said, we do standard invoices, the ones that have been in the industry for the last 50 years. We offer those, but we also do a lot of custom invoices like the ones that we used to do for you before you went online, any size too. And we help design, we proof it out free of charge. And that's been a great seller for people.
Yeah, exactly. So what other things do you have? What other products do you have? Like keychains or the cylinder stickers? Talk about.
Yeah, we have cylinder stickers. I've got a whole array of things here. They come like in this. We have a die, so I don't know if there's too much of a glare or not. Can you see that at all? Too much glare?
It's a little glary.
Anyway, we have a die. So we print your information on it, and then the die cuts it, and it comes in a roll, and it goes right above the key hole on your cylinder. Those have been a great item. I don't know, we must have added that maybe 20 years ago, 18 years ago, and it's still a great seller. And all our labels, I do want to say that they are UV protected inks. They have an extra coating of lamination on them to help with the chemicals and the weather. And I mean, I don't want to boast or anything, but I've never had a complaint about them coming off a door or a window or being destroyed. I do have to say red ink will fade over time, especially in Arizona and Florida, states like that. So you do have to be careful about the red ink. So we've got the cylinder labels. We've got the key tags that when you go to residential, sometimes you want to leave something behind. And we have the key-shaped key tag. We have like bottle opener key tags. But for more of the commercial side, when you're doing an apartment building, we have the paper tags that We saw 1,000, 2,500, 5,000 price breaks, and we saw a lot of those. And those are the yellow ones that are behind me. You can see next to the Redford sign.
Mm-hmm.
And screwdrivers are another item that people like to leave behind when they do residential work, because who doesn't love one of those little teeny tiny screwdrivers to fix your glasses?
Exactly.
But another key tag that I don't know if you want to go to it. It's a small plastic key tag, sort of like your reward ones that grocery stores give you.
What's it under?
Really
Tags
taken
and
off because go down to no, you have to go back. Those are all go down to promotional products right there. Okay, go down one more, all the way to the right. Boop, boop, up. Now go over to the right where it says polyester key tags, loyalty tags.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Those have been a real hit, because once again, you can do full color without an upcharge, and they come in those 4 different sizes. And those are just some examples of ones that we have sold. And you can print both sides different. That's no additional charge, or you can leave the back blank so you can write on it with a marker, or you can have lines printed on there to help. But those, if you want to leave something behind even if you want to give them to a car dealership to hand out for someone that's going to get lockouts, there's the bottle opener key tags I was talking about.
I tell you what, these right here, like, I could not keep these in stock. You know what I mean? It was just,
people love them.
People love them. People would see them and then ask for them.
Yeah. There's at the top, there's just a very thin area for your name and phone number. That's how they get logoed.
Yeah.
But they do come in all those colors.
Yeah. And then they're bottle openers too. So it's a key, it's a keychain, and it's a bottle opener. And I've seen people, there was a very similar design that people were using them during COVID for to move doors and stuff.
Yes. Yep. And go to the left where it says key tags and fobs. Those are the ones I was talking about, mostly for residential work that you would leave behind.
Yeah.
You've got all the different shapes you can choose from. The van, the different types of keys, the number one, the octagon.
Yeah.
Those are popular also.
Yeah.
And those are pliable too. They're not hard. A lot of people don't like to put the hard plastic in their pocket.
Right. And then, I mean, the magnets, the old Locksmith van, you know, these are great here. Definitely found a lot of success with these.
And the business card magnets also are very popular.
Right. And people used to use these on phone books. They'd have the phone books, they'd glue them onto there, and then you'd be on the front page, and then you could put that on your fridge or whatever. But now you could, like you say, you could do it with the business cards instead. And then the magnet business cards. So this right here, I would say this was probably one of the largest successes that we had with safe moving, is order the magnets, and then I would put safes installed, and our minimum price, $250 or $285 or whatever it was at that particular time. And then the phone number. And literally, when we would go and put those at Cabela's, we would ask a manager if that was okay, if we could put those on there. And what would happen is, like, instantly people would start calling. And I figured it out because there was probably 4 other companies that would put those magnets on there, but they just kind of copied their business card and put it onto there and then stuck it on there. What's the first thing that the person does, that the customer does when they call? How much is it? Right? Well, why not put your bare minimum price right on the sticker, right on the magnet? And then people know, okay, well, if you want to call those other people, well, then that's fine. Go ahead and call them. I know that I can move them better, faster, and cheaper than anybody else in town because I have the equipment. I invested in the equipment. I invested in the things to do things correctly. So I could pull up with a safe chariot, pick that safe up, deliver it to wherever in town, And in literally 30 minutes, in most cases, I was making $250 to $285 just to do a garage to garage delivery or pickup to garage delivery.
Yep.
So the way you market also really matters, because you can buy those stickers or you can buy those magnets, but if they're just a replica of your business card, it's not going to help you out that much.
Exactly.
So that was definitely one of those things. Anybody that's moving safes, I would highly, highly recommend.
Yep. And that
doing.
first job pays for it.
Oh yeah, the first job, we got 3 jobs the first day. We went to Tractor Supply, who has safes there for sale. We had a Cabela's, and we had a Western Implement and a Costco. And at all 4 of those locations, we would talk to the manager, ask permission. You don't, and that's the nice part about the magnet, is that if something does happen or a certain manager doesn't want them on there, or they need to take them off, they can take them off, and there's no adhesive or anything like that. But that they would normally actually really like you being there, because they sell more safes if they have somebody that can install it. Because what's the first thing a customer does when they come up to the safe? Well, this is great. I want to have a safe. It does all the things. It has all the bells and whistles. It does everything that I want it to do. How do I get it home? So what's the first thing they ask the manager? Do you guys have a delivery service? And a lot of times their local delivery service, like they'll partner with somebody who's local. And if they do that, the one thing they don't do is safes. Like a general moving company, they won't do safes. They won't touch them. And so, because they're their own breed. And so they would love that we would do that. And they'd be like, oh yeah, that's great. Please put these down. And we'll even keep some on file. We'll even have some extra here, so you don't have to come back every month or so to do it.
That's awesome.
And that's kind of how that worked out. And we would actually work together, and they actually literally, I asked the manager, did you see an uptick in sales after we started doing this? And he said, absolutely, hands down, 100%. And so we got a chance to do it from then on, and it's just been great.
Great stuff.
You can do a QR code on a magnet. Let's see, there's a couple things over here. Don't know stores let you put tags on their products. Yeah, they do, if you ask. If you just put them on there and they find them, they're probably going to get a little irritated with that. But this is one of those situations where it is better to ask for permission rather than for forgiveness. Wayne, did the minimum include service fee, or moving is a different fee schedule? No, I would do it for $285. I figured my average service call was about $135. And like I said, I mean, a pallet jack, this didn't include a bolt down or anything else, but a pallet jack, I'd come in, I'd pick it up from the big box store, I'd take it to the customer who's in town, and I would specify that that's within in-town radius, 10 or 15 miles, and then drop it off in their garage. Sometimes they'd have me take it off the pallet. Sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they wanted the legs to keep it up off the ground to keep moisture from getting into it. And in those cases, I mean, quite literally 30 minutes from pickup to drop off with virtually very little physical work involved. $285 is good for half an hour. You think about those rates, you're making almost $600 an hour, like an attorney, Yeah, curb to curb is exactly it. Now, if they wanted it bolted down, okay, bolt down is going to be an extra $50 to $85, depending on how many bolts we have to drill and what kind of concrete it is. So you could start adding it from there. And then all of a sudden, hey, I don't like it in the garage. Oh, okay. Well, now this is a white glove installation. Now it's $500, right? So now I just had the upsell, because usually the wife didn't like it in the garage. Maybe it was going to affect where she was parking her car. And so now all of a sudden we're bringing it in the house, and now we're making even more money. So that just kind of flows from there. So those magnets are great. I found it was instant profit as soon as we started using those. What are your main sellers right now? What are your main big sellers?
I'd have to say decals have always been our number one seller, because we offer any size,
Mm-hmm.
We offer the brushed silver, which is popular, the matte silver,
Mm-hmm.
and the shiny silver. We
Yeah.
also offer the white with full color printing.
Uh-huh.
There's some
So here's the dome
examples right
ones here.
there that you can see. That's
Yep.
a picture of the dome decal.
Yep.
But our labels are definitely the best seller. And then after that, I would have to say the key tags, the thin plastic ones that we were talking about. Invoices, of course, used to be our number one seller, but when the online invoices got so popular, the software, those kind of dropped off. But
Yeah.
the smaller locksmiths still use those, especially if they have to give something to the customer on the road.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
our decals by far, and the yellow tag, like I said above me, those are very, very popular. The push
Yeah.
pull, we do a lot of push pulls, but then the door stickers also sell a lot of those.
Okay, so we have a comment here, question. How do you deal with pricing over the phone for lockouts? How do you respond to customers without scaring them off on pricing? So these are just random questions that are going to come up here. I mean, it depends on what your business is. So if your business is based on lockouts and you need that lockout, well, then you should price yourself accordingly. But here is some specific wording that will capture almost every lockout that you come across and that you want. I'm at a point in my career now where lockouts aren't really my primary income source. I will pick up a lockout from job to job, or if it's just there, I'll go grab it as long as it's not inconveniencing what I'm already doing. But it's not really my primary business. However, when it was my primary business, when I had to work 24/7, run the late calls, every lockout, every dollar counted, the way that I would word that is I would have my set price. Hello, this is Wayne with Tri-County Locksmith Service. We're locked out of our car. How much is it? Okay, I would find out what kind of vehicle it is and where it was, and then I would give them the price. $99 or $135 or whatever your price is. And if I wanted to keep the sale, I would say, and just to let you know, these are my prices. I know most of the other people in town. If you get a lower price from somebody else, just let me know who it is and how much it is, because I already knew how much everybody else was charging, and I'll price match it for you. So if you want to make sure that you capture every single one of those, that would be a really good way to do it. And then that way you leave it up to them. Hey, if you want a price check and you want to continue to do that and you're really out to just get the best price for this thing, go ahead and do so and let me know and I'll match it. If you just want me to come out and get it done and it's not worth the headache and it's an emergency and you just need this done, hey, I'll go ahead and do that. Then you'll take my price as is, right? So I hope that answers your question. And that was a good comment there. So we saw that we put the key tags up on there so that people could see that. And I think we've answered everybody's questions on this. We're about 28 minutes in, so you got about a half hour on here. What's the next show that you're going to be at? Where can people find you next? Where can people see you next? What's next for Kristy?
Aloha and Gaylord and Orlando in August.
Okay. And that's the Orlando Aloha Trade Show?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. And then do you offer any kind of specials at the shows?
I usually do, yes. I usually give 5 to 10% off any order that is placed within a week of the show.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So there are deals to be had if they come out and come to the booth and see you. And I highly recommend you do, because it's hard to gauge what these things look like online.
It is.
Unless you really touch it, hold it, feel it, see it, it's a little difficult to see if it's going to be exactly what you want it to be.
And I am happy to send out samples. I do that all the time for people.
And you send out samples all the time.
Quality.
Right, exactly. What is your email address? I'm going to put it in the comment section here.
Okay, Kristy, Kristy, at pbppaulboypaul2000.com. And that'll come directly to me.
Okay. Alrighty. And then the website is pbp2000.com
2000.com.
to go there and check it out. I highly recommend people do it. This is, and you were actually, I gave a keynote presentation and speech to the Pop-A-Lock franchise at the last Aloha trade show in Las Vegas. And the topic of my keynote presentation was Google proofing your business. And you and your products were part of that Google proofing. Why? Because every time somebody pulls out their phone and Googles a locksmith, most locksmiths are advertising in what's called pay-per-click advertising. Therefore, that means that you have to pay for every time that somebody clicks. If somebody sees my phone number and contact information directly on their safe, directly on their door, directly where they're having the problem, literally with their key stuck in the lock, not being able to lock it or unlock it, they're not going to use Google. They're going to either use a QR code, which is something somebody brought up. QR codes are great for business cards. They would be great on the magnets. You and I made just a QR code that just said scan for service right here. And then a phone number at the bottom. And here's a little trick. Here's a little tip. When my QR code just says scan for service and a phone number and a QR code, it actually drives my SEO through the roof because random customers are coming by like a gym and they scan it and it takes them to my website and it drives my SEO and foot traffic through the roof because there's all these random people scanning the QR code all throughout all these doors throughout the valley, trying to find information. Now it goes to my website instead of theirs, but hey, I can just tell them, hey, we're just the security company. We left these on the door and you're good to go from there, So that's just a little tip and a little trick for people to Google proof your business. If you want to make sure that you're not so reliant on it and your customer base remains the same, this is a great way to do it anytime you possibly can. I would also put your stickers on, if we do electronic access, the booklet that I hand to them that has all the instructions on how to change their code and operate their new electronic access control system. I would put a sticker on there. It looks way more professional than just handwriting a phone number or something in there. And it's always legible. So it just really looks just really sharp when you do that. So there are some great suggestions for everybody out there. I really appreciate you coming on today. I really appreciate your products. Yes, absolutely. Anytime. And if you get anything new, please let me know so that I can have you back on here. But this has been great. I hope everybody's got some really good information. I hope I've answered some good technical locksmith questions. I hope I've given people some great marketing techniques and ideas. And I hope people go to pbp2000.com and order some metal or jelly stickers or dome stickers or keychains or any of the fantastic products that you have right now, because it's money in the bank. It really is. The return on investment, I would say, right underneath Google guaranteed best return on investment or ROI is these products, this type of advertising.
I hope to hear from all of you, and you got to let me know who the winner is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap it up here shortly, and we'll count them up and we'll tally them up and we'll go from there. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody out there who supports the channel. #1 podcast in locksmithing and security, the Locksmith Live podcast, every Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.